Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Tips here, back again with another video. Surprise, surprise. I know it's been some time since I've made one, but at this point, I'm not forcing any videos, and I'm just making one whenever I'm like, you know what? I should probably make a video. Or whenever I have to rant, get something off my chest. And I'm just going to be doing a little bit of training here in Rocket League. I'm going to be using it to show you a couple examples of things that I'm talking about. But before then, I'm just, fucking around, so don't pay too much attention to that. I just need something to fiddle with while I talk. So yeah, depth perception, doesn't seem like too many people have a good understanding of what it is. I was talking to a couple people and trying to explain it to them, how it, comes together in video games, especially in Rocket League. Somebody was trying to tell me that there's no depth perception if you're playing on a monitor, which I kind of just scratched my head and said, okay. And then I'll be talking about reaction time, awareness, and hand-eye coordination, just to get those out of the way in case there are people out there that also don't know what those are. And then I'm going to be talking about, in Rocket League, I'm going to be kind of debunking these RNG things that people think are in the game, which they kind of are, but it's not as strong as people may think. It's not as strong as the RNG in PUBG, Fall Guys, Hearthstone. I'm sure you guys can think of a couple other games that are considered esport games, even though I might not consider them esport games, that have a huge RNG factor into who wins. So, getting into it, if you don't know what depth perception is, it is the ability to perceive an object from far away or close up. That any object that's in your field of vision, field of view. So right now I'm using depth perception. I am perceiving how close the ball is to me. That's how I'm able to, dribble it in the air like that. I'm able to perceive that the ball is, I don't know, 5 yards away, 10 yards away. The whole point is I'm able to perceive it and hit the ball and all that stuff. Now, I don't know why people think that it doesn't come into play when you're playing on a monitor. I mean, depth perception is all around us. We use it, probably 1,000 times a day. When you're walking, or when you're driving, or when you're playing a sport, or even when you're writing something down. You're still using depth perception with the pen or the pencil that's in your hand, and you're able to perceive how close the pen is to your paper or whatever you're writing on, so you can actually write something down. So that's what depth perception is. Now, awareness is, should be common sense what awareness is. It's, you're just aware of your surroundings. I'm aware that, there's a door right there, and I'm aware I have a controller in my hand. I'm aware that the microphone is right there. I'm aware that I'm recording right now. I'm aware that I have a cyberpunk desktop wallpaper in my background. Things like that. So it doesn't really go into too much detail anymore than that. You're just aware of everything. And then hand-eye coordination is what we're going to go on, because reaction time is kind of a little bit harder to show in training, because I kind of need to play against somebody to really show somebody, but I'll do my best in training. Okay, so hand-eye coordination is, I have my right thumb on my right joystick, I have my left thumb on my left joystick, and hand-eye coordination is just being able to coordinate yourself to hit the ball. Now, this is where a lot of skill comes into play when you're playing a shooting game like Halo or Counter-Strike, or even League of Legends, when you have to accurately click on a minion to kill, or another champion to do damage to. I know League of Legends probably isn't the best example, but I mean it still comes into play because there's many abilities that require you to, click the ability and then click on the champion that you want to use the ability on and all that stuff. And then even in Hearthstone, hand-eye coordination comes into play, because you have to be able to use your mouse. You have to understand, okay, how far do I need to move my mouse before I need to click on a card to play it? I mean, it's very minuscule, but hand-eye coordination is still in a game like poker or Hearthstone. It's just, the ability to use your right joystick and your left joystick, to synchronize them to play a game. Now, obviously, in Rocket League, you're not using the right joystick as much, just to look around, free cam or whatever, or your swivel cam, but it's still there. And the last thing is reaction time. Now, it's kind of hard for me to show it in training, but reaction time is, you're reacting to what's happening. Okay, so I hit the ball up, and I'm going to react to where it's going, something like that. Or, well, let me think for a second. What's the best way I can show reaction time? Okay, this is the best way that I can show reaction time. So I hit the ball as hard as I can against the wall, and then I react to, where the ball is going to go. I have a small window to react to, my next hit. So it pops up in the air. I have a small window to react to, get the best hit possible. Or let's see if I can show it like this. Pop it up in the air. I have a very small window to jump off the ceiling and hit that ball. So that's reaction time. Being able to react, being able to use all 4 skills, or all 3 to assist your reaction time skill. So that's basically the explanation for all 4. I'm not gonna really judge somebody on not really knowing what all 4 of those are, but if you're going to talk about an esport, or if you're going to try to say that Rocket League doesn't take any skill, or Halo doesn't take any skill to play, when you're 100% wrong when you say that, you need to understand those 4 things. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about here, as we're already 8 minutes in, are these little myths. Well, not really myths, but people think that the RNG in Rocket League is a lot bigger than it actually is. So let's talk about the Kickoff RNG that people think there is. If you don't play Rocket League, at the start of each, I don't know, every time that you score a goal or your opponent scores a goal, you guys reset. The ball gets placed in the middle, and then you and your opponent spawn opposite of each other, to make it fair. And it'll do a counter, 3, 2, 1, go, and then you guys both go, and you have to use whatever kickoff you want to use to try to get to the ball first. And then you play off of it, and then whoever scores, and then you do it again. Sometimes there's only 1 kickoff a game, because some games end 1-0. But a lot of people think there's a lot of RNG with kickoff, and there really isn't. Maybe in the first kickoff, especially in ones, there's a lot of RNG. If I use this kickoff, but he uses a kickoff that counters that kickoff, then, he will win that kickoff and probably score in the first 5 seconds of the round. So yeah, there is RNG in that. But after that, you adjust yourself, because there are so many different kickoffs in Rocket League to use. I can, I can just go forward, and I'm having a tough time right now in Rocket League being able to flip forward. Sometimes I just jump up in the air. I don't know what's wrong. That's why I did that little side step there, or that diagonal flip. But there's different kickoffs where you can just line drive it like that. You don't have to do anything fancy. On the diagonal kickoff, instead of trying to go sideways and get there as fast as possible, you can do a counter. And I like to use my boost and stay up in the air, so the ball, I basically just kill the ball. And then right there, I just did the next thing I want to talk about. which is pinching the ball off the wall. Now, pinching the ball, it does not take luck. You can do it 100% of the time without fail if you understand, the mechanics of the game and all that stuff. So I'll show you right here. So that wasn't a strong pinch, but it was still a pinch. So all you have to do is you have to hit the ball as hard as you can when it's grabbing the wall. So in order for a pinch to not work, in order for the pinch to work all the time, you have to make sure that the ball is there is no space between the ball and the wall. If there's a space between the ball and the wall, you're just going to be hitting the ball off the wall instead of pinching it. So let's see if I can do it here. So okay, that's a bad example. I haven't played Rocket League in a week. Give me a break. So there you go. There's a pinch. I'm trying to get a really strong one. Yeah, I'm sucking right now. But you get what I'm saying though. See, there's a pinch. And the reason that worked is because there was no space between the ball and the wall. You couldn't stick a piece of paper in between it. Oh, that's a good one. See, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if it's not working, it's not because it's RNG, it's because you're not being able to do it consistently. Which, in my case, that's what's happening, is I'm sucking at the game and I'm not being consistent. Now, when you pinch the ball, you kind of want it to be, as you want to do a single jump so you can get that flip. But, and then a lot of people are like, oh, there's RNG after the pinch, because you can't control where the ball's going to go, which is actually 100% wrong. So if I hit it low, it's going to go high. And if I hit it to the right of it, it's going to go into my opponent's goal. But then again, it depends where you're trying to pinch it from. Are you trying to pinch it from the middle of the wall? Are you trying to pinch it from your side? Are you on their side? There's 100 different scenarios when you're trying to pinch the ball to, and then what are you trying to do with the pinch? Are you pinching it just to clear the ball? Are you pinching it to score? What are you trying to do? Are you pinching it off the wall just because it's cool and it's fun? What's your plan? So, you can pinch it high like that, and then you can follow it up and try to score. But there is no RNG. The only RNG with pinching it off the wall is if you don't have a plan, which might happen if you're low ranked. But if you're diamond, if you're champion, you're usually gonna have a plan when you pinch the ball off the wall. You're either gonna be trying to score or whatever. So there is no RNG with that, especially if you know where to hit the ball. Each car has a different hitbox. Even though they just merged a lot of the hitboxes together, you're gonna get a better pinch if you hit the ball with the right corner or the left corner of your car. It's not going to be as strong, and it's not going to be as powerful if you hit it with the front of your car or any other part of your car, because the sharpest part of your car is the left and the right corner, where your wheel and the metal whatever, I don't know shit about cars, is right next to each other, is touching. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So with kickoffs, there is not that much RNG, especially if you remember what kickoff your opponent was using and why you lost that kickoff, and then you use a different kickoff, and then you're like, oh wow, I actually won that time. Okay, maybe there is not as much RNG. So the first kickoff of the game, yeah, there's probably a good amount of RNG, but after that you adjust, and then the RNG pretty much goes away. And then pinching, I just explained that, and some people think there's RNG with flip resets, and that's advanced. That's kind of like Champ 3 Grand Champ talk, which we shouldn't even get into. But yeah, there's really not that much RNG in Rocket League. Now, I will say this, and from where I'm coming from, the only RNG aspect of this game is when you and your opponent are 50ing a ball. And what a 50 is, you know, let's say I'm going for a 50. When you say you're going for a 50, you are going to the ball. You're going to the ball at the same speed as your opponent, and you know that you and your opponent are going to hit the ball with the same speed, with most likely the same part of your car. Sometimes not, and that's why you say you're going for 50. And when you say that, your teammates or your teammate is going to get ready for anything, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, most of the time you cancel each other out, but sometimes, you know, you hit the ball high. What was it? Like, you go high and he goes low, and then you get scored on, or vice versa, and then you score the ball, and yeah, that right there, that's, you know, RNG. I mean, I'm not trying to say there's no RNG in the game. If there was no RNG in the game developer would not have added the calculated quick chat response. You know, so there is RNG in the game, but compared to PUBG, compared to Hearthstone, compared to all these other games that should not even be considered an esport and should just be played for fun, there's really not that much RNG in Rocket League. And the amount of skill that it takes to play this game is just astronomical. You know, there's people that have thousands of hours in this game, and they're not even close to reaching the top of their potential in the game. And there's so many different ways to hone, you know, your skills in this game. Like, especially on PC, on Steam, they have a workshop where, you know, there's maps that people make that are specifically there to increase, you know, your skill at hitting the ball in the air, or your skill with dribbling. You know, dribbling is the hardest thing to do in Rocket League. Being able to keep the ball up like that without hitting the ground, it's very hard. And you're like, oh, well, you're doing it really easily right there. Yeah, that's because there's nobody pressuring me. There's, you know, you can do it in free play all day long, but when you're playing a live game and you have to dribble it right then and there, you'd be very surprised how hard you're able to do it under pressure like that. You know, because there's a lot of different things going in your mind and all that, and what have you. But anyway, this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I've said everything that I wanted to say, so hopefully you learned something. Maybe I'll make a video in the future that goes more in depth with comparing this game to, or maybe not comparing, because I kind of did that in this video, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make a separate video, but maybe I'll make another separate video kind of talking about the different skills of Rocket League and all that stuff. So anyways, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. I do not give a fuck. And I hope you guys all have an amazing Saturday night and an even better Sunday morning, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace.